Good morning. We are going to start a new part. The first one, what if you remember, was part one was from the point of view of August, and then part two was the perspective or point of view from Via, his sister, and then the last chapter or part that we read was from Summer, a really good friend of August. And, if we all had friends like that, it'd be awesome. But we all can be friends like that, right? Okay, so we're on part four from Jack's perspective. Now, remember, Jack had said some unkind remarks about our friend Augie. And Augie heard him, but Jack didn't know that he heard him. And it was very hurtful. And so Augie decided to just not talk to him anymore. And he probably did the right thing, in my opinion. So anyway, we're going to start part four, Jack. And it's noted that there's a quotation under his name, Jack. Now, here is my secret. It is very simple. It's only the one's heart that can see so clearly. What is essential is visible to the eye. Okay. The next two chapters are called The Call, and Carvel. And I'll probably read one more chapter called Why I Changed My Mind. Okay, The Call. So in August, my parents got this call from Mr. Tushman, the middle school director. And my mom said, maybe he calls all the new students to welcome them. And my dad said, that's a lot of kids he'd be calling. So my mom called him back, and I could hear her talking to Mr. Tushman on the phone. This is exactly what he said. Oh, hi, Mr. Tushman. This is Amanda. Amanda Wilt, returning your call. Pause. Okay, thank you. That's so nice of you to say. He is looking forward to it. Pause. Yes. Pause. Yeah. Pause. Oh, sure. No, pause. Sure. Oh, wow. Oh. Super pause. I see, of course. I'm sure he will. Let me write it down. Got it. I'll call you after I've had a chance to talk to him, okay? No, thank you for thinking of him. Bye-bye. And when she hung up the phone, I was like, what's up? What did he say? And Mom said, well, it's actually a very flattering, but kind of sad too. See, there's this boy who's starting middle school this year, and he's never been to a real school environment before because he was homeschooled. So Mr. Tushman called to some of the lower school teachers to find out who they thought were some of the really, really great kids coming into 5th grade. And the teachers must have told him you were an especially nice kid, which I already knew, of course. So Mr. Tushman is wondering if he could count on you to sort of shepherd this boy around a little bit. Like, let me hang out with me, I said. Exactly, said Mom. He called it being a welcome buddy. But why me? I told you, your teachers told Mr. Tushman that you were the kind of kid who's known for being a good egg. I mean, I'm so proud that they think so highly of you. Why is it sad? What do you mean? You said it's flattering, but kind of sad too. Oh, Mom nodded. Well, apparently this boy has some sort of, I guess something's wrong with his face. Or something like that. I'm not sure. Maybe he was in an accident. Mr. Tushman said he'd explain a bit more when you come to the school next week. School doesn't start till September. He wants you to meet the kid before school starts. Do I have to? School. Mom looked a bit surprised. Well, no, of course not, she said, but it would be a nice thing to do, Jack. If I don't do it, I said, I don't want to do it. Can you at least think about it? I'm thinking about it and I don't want to do it. Can you at least think about it? I'm thinking about it and I don't want to do it. Well, I'm not going to force you to, she said, but at least think about it some more, okay? I'm calling Mr. Tushman back tomorrow, so sit with it a little bit. I mean, Jack, I really don't think it's too much to ask that you spend a little extra time with some new kid. It's not just that he's new, Mom, I answered. He's deformed. That's a terrible thing to say, Jack. He is, Mom. You don't even know what it is. Yeah, I do, I said, because I know the second she started talking about him, it was that kid named August. I'm going to shift for the Carvel. I remember seeing him for the first time in front of the Carvel on Amesworth Avenue when I was about 5 or 6. Me and Veronica, my babysitter, were sitting on the bench outside the store with Jamie, my baby brother, who was sitting in the stroller facing us. I guess I was busy eating my ice cream cone because I didn't even notice the people who sat down next to us. At one point, I turned my head to suck the ice cream out of the bottom of my cone, and that's when I saw him, August. He was sitting right next to me. I know it wasn't cool, but I kind of went, oh, when I saw him because I honestly got scared. I thought he was wearing a zombie mask or something. It was the kind of thing you say when you're watching a scary movie and the bad guy like jumps out of the bushes. Anyway, I know it wasn't nice of me to do that, and though the kid didn't hear me, I know his sister did. Jack, we have to go, said Veronica. She had gotten up and turned the stroller around because Jamie, who had obviously noticed the kid too, was about to say something embarrassing, so I jumped up kind of suddenly, like a bee had landed on me. I followed Veronica as she zoomed away. I could hear the kid's mom saying softly behind us, okay guys, I think it's time to go. And I turned around to look at them one more time. The kid was licking his ice cream cone. The mom was picking up his scooter, and the sister was glaring at me like she was going to kill me. I looked away quickly. Veronica, what is wrong with that kid? I whispered. Oh boy, she said in her angry voice. I love Veronica, but when she got mad, she got really mad. Meanwhile, Jamie was practically spilling out of his stroller trying to give another look at Veronica, pushed him away. But Veronica, said Jamie. You boys are very naughty, said Veronica, as soon as we were further down the block. Staring like that. I didn't mean to, I said. Veronica, said Jamie. Leaving like that, Veronica was muttered. Oh, Lord, that poor lady. I tell you, boys, every day we should thank the Lord for our blessings. You hear me? Veronica, what is it, Jamie? Is it Halloween? No, Jamie. Then why was that boy wearing a mask? Veronica didn't answer. Sometimes she was mad about something, she would do that. He wasn't wearing a mask, I explained to Jamie. Hush, Jack, said Veronica. Why are you so mad, Veronica? I couldn't help asking. I thought this would make her angrier, but she actually shook her head. It was bad how we did that, she said, just getting up like that, like we'd seen the devil. I was scared for what Jamie was going to say, you know. I didn't want him to say anything that would hurt that little boy's feeling. But it was very, very bad, us living like that. The mama knew right away what was going on. But we didn't mean it, I answered. Jack, sometimes you don't have to mean to hurt. Sometimes to hurt someone. Do you understand? That was the first time I ever saw August in the neighborhood, at least that I remember. I've seen him around ever since then, a couple times in the playground, a few times in the park. He used to wear an astronaut helmet sometimes, but I always knew it was him underneath the helmet. All the kids in the neighborhood knew it was him. Everyone had seen August at some point or another. We all know his name, though he doesn't know ours. And whenever I see him, I try to remember that Veronica said, but it's hard. It's hard not to sneak a second look. It's hard to act normal when you see him. One more chapter. Why I changed my mind. Well, who else did Mr. Tushman call? I asked Mom later that night. Did he tell you? He mentioned Julian and Charlotte. Julian? I said, ugh, why Julian? You used to be friends with Julian. Mom, that was like in kindergarten. Julian's the biggest phony there is. And he's trying to be so popular all the time. Well said, Mom. At least Julian agreed to help this kid out. Gotta give him some credit for that. I didn't say anything because she was right. What about Charlotte? I asked. Is she doing it too? Yes, Mom said. Of course she is. Charlotte's such a goody two-shoes, I answered. Boy, Jack, said Mom, you seem to have a problem with everyone these days. It's just, I started, Mom, you have no idea what this kid looks like. I can imagine. No, you can't. You've never seen him. I have. It might not even be who you're thinking it is. Trust me, it is. And I'm telling you, it's really, really bad. He's deformed, Mom. His eyes are like down here. And he has no ears. And his mouth is like... Jamie had walked into the kitchen to get a juice box from the fridge. Ask Jamie, I said. Right, Jamie? Remember that kid we saw in the park after school last year? That kid named August? The one with the face? Oh, that kid, said Jamie, his eyes opening wide. He gave me a nightmare. Remember, Mommy, that nightmare about the zombies last year? I thought that was from watching a scary movie, answered Mom. No, said Jamie. It was from seeing that kid. When I saw him, I was like, oh, and I ran away. Wait a minute, said Mom, getting serious. Did you do that right in front of him? I couldn't help it, said Jamie, kind of whining. Of course you could help it, Mom scolded. Guys, I have to tell you, I'm really disappointed by what I'm hearing here. And she looked just like how she sounded. I mean, honestly, he's a little boy, just like you. Can you imagine how he felt to see you running away from him? Jamie, screaming? It wasn't a scream, argued Jamie. It was more like a, ah. He put his hands on his cheeks and started running around the kitchen. Come on, Jamie, Mom, said Mom angrily. I honestly thought both my boys were more sympathetic than that. What's sympathetic? Said Jamie, who was only going into the second grade. You know exactly what I mean, sympathetic, Jamie, said Mom. It's just he's so ugly, Mommy, said Jamie. Hey, Mom yelled. I don't like that word. Jamie, just get your juice box. I want to talk to Jack alone for a second. Look, Jack, said Mom as soon as he left. And I knew she was about to give me a whole speech. Okay, I'll do it, I said, which completely shocked her. You will? Yes. So I can call Mr. Tushman? Yes, Mom. Yes. I said yes. Mom smiled. I know you'd rise to the occasion, kiddo. Good for you. I'm proud of you, Jackie. She messed up my hair. So here's why I changed my mind. It wasn't so I wouldn't have to hear Mom give me the whole speech, the whole lecture, and it wasn't to protect August from Julian, who I knew would be a jerk about the whole thing. It was because I had heard Jamie talking about how he had run away from August going, ah! I suddenly felt really bad. The thing is, there are always going to be kids like Julian who are jerks. But if a little kid like Jamie, who's really nice enough kid, can be that mean, then a kid like August doesn't stand a chance in middle school.